Okie dokie. Let's see here. So it seems to be pretty buggy lately. It says it's working, but I'm not really sure. I guess we'll just think that it's working. Welcome, everybody. Welcome there. Welcome to the Hidden Grove, where we do Bible study devotionals and learn more of BMX Flatland. We're riding in a 15 by 15 square foot area. So unfortunately, this phone right here, I think it finally just stopped working on me. For some reason, like, still works, but I don't know if it just like overheats or something, but like, I try and stream on it, and the stream just stops. And the thing is that this camera right here, it's like in a lower, it's like a not as good of a camera for some reason. Like, all the colors are different. It literally looks like there's just an entire filter on it. But you know what? I guess what matters most is the word, right? It's just trying to. But I am a little bummed. I ain't gonna lie. I'm a little bummed that this camera is like sketchier, but I honestly shouldn't even care, right? I should be content in all situations, right? But for some reason, I don't know why that bugged me. It was just like, for the past couple days, it's just been bugging me. Just seeing that the older, I think this is even an older phone. This is what doesn't make sense. I literally think this is an older phone, and it has a better camera on it. And like, the colors were just nice, and now all the colors are just all messed up. But you know what? I guess what matters is just the word, in terms of what matters most, right? So I guess maybe there's something to be learned in here, that I should just try and be content in all situations, right? And stuff like that shouldn't bug me, right? So maybe that's what we should get into, learning how to be content in all situations. So we're gonna look into that, okay? It's strange, right? It's hard to like even think about that, right? Even thinking about being content in all situations. It's a very strange thing to think, you know. I'm just gonna test to see if my stream's even working. I think it is. Huh. Oh man, this camera seems sketchy, dude. There's something about it. I have no idea what it is, but can't you guys tell, like, the colors are all weird? They're like, it just seems like it's like in a lower resolution. It literally seems like it's like way lower resolution. Oh well, you know what? What matters is the word, right? And I need to think about that more, honestly, instead of just these little things that really probably don't make any difference at all, honestly. But let's see here. What are we gonna look up? Let's look up how to be content in all situations. How to be content in all situations, because that's what Paul brings up. Trying to see. Well, let's actually just get into all of those. What verses is that in Corinthians? I learn to be content in all situations. Oh, it's Philippians. Okay, let's go into Philippians. And what's weird is I think we did a Bible study last week on this, and it's just so strange. It's almost like it's been like a little test. I guess what kind of irks things is when you get used to something, right? In terms of contentness, right? It's interesting when, actually, it was almost like this whole thing with all these problems and stuff that we've been having technically and stuff. Almost, it's kind of like a little bit of a test for my own mind, right? Because it's strange when you're maybe oblivious to the fact that you're going through all these things and you have all these things, right? And sometimes you get blinded by it, right? Like, you don't really, like when you say you live in a, say you just get totally used to something, right? And then when it gets taken away, that's when you kind of see when it starts popping up, right? And I feel like that very same scenario happened to me where I was like, I mean, even for the past couple days, I was like, man, what in the world's going on, man? Like, the old phone was better, all this stuff. And it was, like, actually, like, kind of getting to me. And I'm like, what in the world, bro? Why am I even, like, tripping on this, right? Like, it honestly doesn't really even matter. So, okay, let's see here. So, Philippians 4:11. Let's see. 4:11. Not that I am speaking of being in need, for I have learned in whatever situation I am to be content. I know how to be brought low, and I know how to abound. In and every circumstance I have learned the secret of facing plenty and hunger, abundance, and need. I can do all things through him who strengthens me. Isn't that interesting, right? And that, yeah, man, that one's just such a, I mean, just imagine just being content in every situation. I mean, I'll be completely honest, like that, it almost seems impossible for me. I'll be really real with everybody. It's like, but the thing is that we are learning how to do that, right? I'd like to say that I could be content in every situation, but quite frankly, it's like I forget about these verses, and maybe this is why I have to go over them again, right? Especially when, I think that's the interesting thing about God's word is like, especially like say you start getting irritated, you start getting frustrated, you start getting even annoyed or just angry or something like that, right? Sometimes it's interesting when you get so much into the word where you start feeling these emotions happening, right? Sometimes you're not even aware that they're even springing up. Sometimes they just start off with these little seeds, right? And they all just start piling up on you. Kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back saying, right? And the thing is it's interesting, like going back and having that like filter, maybe not filter, but like the whole aspect of when these emotions do start springing up to kind of like go back onto what does God's word say, right? Like all these aspects. So like right now I'm trying to think about, how do we be content in every situation? It almost seems like it's, especially in the society that we live in, right? It seems so, it almost seems absurd to think about that, to be content in every situation, right? Does that even mean in like dire straits, like stuff like that? That's just, and just thinking about anxiety, there's a lot of things that we've done so many Bible studies on anxiety, and then we've done Bible studies on anger, right? Like how in James, it's a very simple verse, which I think it's a very good one to remember, is that the anger of man does not produce the righteousness of God, right? That is such a trippy verse, man. It's like, I think it's like if you could have that motto, imagine if people just had that motto running through their mind every time they got angry, right? For the anger of man does not produce the righteousness of God, right? And now I think there is different types of anger, right? There's like, and there's different levels of anger. I mean, I'm actually wondering, when does anger go into wrath, right? Because I think wrath is almost like an extreme form of anger, right? And when does anger and things get into the anger of wanting to fight people, wanting to harm others, when wanting to hurt yourself, wanting to, destroy things, and how to not even get into any of that ever occurring, right? Because I think that's when a lot of things, I'm actually wondering, it's actually be a strange thing to think, how many people in jail, in prison, that were maybe put in there for violent crimes, things of that nature, right? Maybe not even violent crimes, maybe, I'm wondering, like, how, if we were to go into the roots of where maybe these things that they started doing, and then they maybe bursted out, and then they they kind of maybe they overreacted, or they tried to, maybe they overreacted, or maybe it was like the whole thing of the straw that broke the camel's back, and they just flipped out, and they just got so angry, and then they, maybe fought somebody, maybe hurt some other people, maybe even murdered some other people, right? It's weird to think, like, now I know it would be almost like a strange thing to think about, but it's interesting to think how many people do get in trouble because of their anger and things of that nature, right? And it almost kind of goes back into this verse, right? Of just being content in every situation, right? Because, I mean, if you were really content in every situation, you wouldn't probably want to fight somebody, right? because I mean, I don't know, right? Like, I'm not talking about like fighting in like a video game or something. I'm talking about like physically in real reality, like you want to like, hurt some people, right? I think that's really, really interesting to think about. And I guess it's so strange that we've done like, and I don't even care anymore now. It's so weird because I feel like, I care about things, but I'm talking about in terms of like what I was about to say, of how I literally did a Bible study of this last week, and now we're gonna do another one, right? And the thing is that almost like, I feel like if I had a bunch of followers, right? If I had like, imagine if there was like 1 million people watching this right now. I honestly think I'd be acting different. Like I feel like I'd want to maybe appeal to the masses, right? Appeal to the majority maybe. Whereas like, since not many people even watch these streams, it's almost like a sense of, it sounds weird, it's a sense of freedom, because it kind of gives you that aspect of like, oh, well, I can just kind of just do whatever, I guess we're going to just, well, maybe not do whatever, but like, you're not weighed down by maybe the opinions of others, so much as, some other streamers, if you do watch them, they say one thing and they'll have like 100 people commenting on what they said and stuff like that. It's it must get kind of stressful at times, to be honest. But it is weird. There's the whole thing about streaming. It's very, very interesting. I never would have imagined, like even this phone that I wish I was streaming on, just because the streaming quality of this camera is probably 100 pixels better. Literally, that just 100 pixels better. It almost irked me, right? It almost kind of irked me into getting frustrated or annoyed or something, right? Isn't that ridiculous? 100 pixels. And what matters most is God's word, honestly. And the thing is it's just like, I never would have thought that like a phone, this little phone right here, could stream thousands of hours of content when I don't even have an external hard drive. I literally do not have an external hard drive for this thing. This thing has like 20 gigs of memory, or like 15 or 10 gigs of some memory, right? And yet I have so much more gig capacity in terms of content that we've streamed, and I don't even know where it is. It's somewhere on some sort of server or something, but that trips me out, isn't that? Isn't that so crazy? There's people that I think there's some people that even stream 24/7. It's crazy to think about, and I honestly think it's helped me with the flatland. There's been so many clips. I could probably count. I'm maybe not count, but I probably have, just on Twitch alone, probably like 100, maybe not 100. Yeah, maybe 100, at least maybe, clips where I was not filming it on my actual phone, right? Like, this is my actual phone, right? These are all old phones that I'm streaming it on. And the thing is that I don't have the memory capacity on this phone to capture all of it, right, all the time. And with Flatland, there's so many things where I've just messed around. I've literally just messed around. I was like, all right, I'm just going to mess around. I end up landing it, right? And I'm like, what in the world? Like, how did I even land that? And that's the weird thing of like streaming, right? Because that's one of the reasons why I got into streaming, is because of Flatland and because of Matthew 5:14 through 16. So, yeah. Man, these Bible studies are super, super bizarre, huh? They're so strange how we get into all this stuff. But it's good, right? Because it's, I feel like even if I'm messing up, I think even if you're trying to at least acknowledge God in His Word, even if it's just awkward, even if it doesn't even even if you just totally, I think just acknowledging God's Word and trying to at least seek, even just attempting to seek or attempting to sow some seeds, I think it's better than not trying, right? So that's what we're going for, okay? And let's see here. I guess we'll look up how are we to be content in all circumstances. Okay, so we did type that in there on Google right now. Let's see if we can find a commentary that we haven't read. Maybe there'll be something to peer into a little bit more. Okay, what is this one going to say? This is on Lifeway. Lifeway.com. Let's see, what is this one going to say? This is going to say, Philippians 4:13 teaches us to be strong and content in all circumstances. This is by Robbie Galatay. This is his commentary, by the way, so let us read it. Maybe there is something to be learned in here. We live in a time when everything from television commercials to the magazines at the grocery store checkout counter give advice on how we're supposed to live if we want to be fulfilled. They tell you, we have to lose that extra 5 pounds. We have to buy that brand of clothing. We have to see that movie when it comes out. We have to meet that perfect someone and fall in love. We have to have that perfect house. In John 6, you read about 2 incredible miracles, the feeding of 5,000 and walking on water. Immediately after these events, on the next day, Jesus told his disciples, I am the bread of life. No one who comes to me will ever be hungry, and no one who believes in me will ever be thirsty again. John 6:35. And that's actually the strange thing about being thirsty again. I think maybe this is where I have heard this one pastor, he did say that the Word of God is akin to the well that never runs dry. It always is bubbling forth and springing forward. And it's back to this guy's commentary. Let's see here. Because Jesus was working this miracle around Passover directly after showing that he was the Messiah, he used an image should have been powerful in the minds of the disciples. Jesus was the provider of bread, just as God was the provider of manna from heaven to the Israelites. Look at what Paul, the most prolific writer in the New Testament, said about needs, wants, and the source of contentment. I rejoiced in the Lord greatly that once again you renewed your care for me. You were, in fact, concerned about me, but lacked the opportunity to show it. I don't say this out of need, for I have learned to be content in whatever circumstances I am. I know how to be brought little. I know this is in a different, I wonder which translation this one is in. I know both how to have a little and I know how to have a lot. In any and all circumstances, I have learned the secret of being content, whether well fed or hungry, whether in abundance or in need. I am able to do all things through him who strengthens me. Still, you did well by sharing with me in my hardship. Philippians 4:10-14. We don't have to look far in our society today to see Paul's famous statement to the church at Philippi. I am able to do all things through him who strengthens me. It's sometimes printed on football players' eye black or displayed on the locker room. People have it tattooed on their arms or their feet. Unfortunately, we may have lost sight of what Paul was talking about. Paul began the thought by thanking the church members of their concern for him. He had clearly been through some hard experiences. He had had a physical affliction, was constantly in prison for preaching the gospel, and was shipwrecked and beaten on multiple occasions. Perhaps the Philippians believers wrote to him or sent him encouraging gifts when they heard about the latest hardship he was facing. But as Paul developed the thought, he said something interesting. He said he was able to live on almost nothing, and he knew how to be rich. He knew how to be content in a happy situation or a sad one. Man, imagine that. Imagine how many. Just think about this for a minute. Now, after reading this, and it's strange because this guy actually put it in a different light than from what I brought it up, right? Imagine how many relationships have ended because of people not being content in any situation, right? Imagine that. Imagine all the relationships that have faltered, all the maybe even fights in relationships and stuff. Man, that's almost mind-boggling to even look into. That's not even funny because I giggle now, but it's like, because it's just so bizarre to think about, but it's like, oh my goodness, it's like, dude, it's really hard to be content in every situation. But I guess that's why we're looking deeper into it, man. It's actually just in our society, right? It's just like there's so many things that pull us from wanting to be content, right? It's harsh, man. It's harsh, but oddly funny when we think deeper into it and you just go, man, holy moly, man. There's so many things that have just occurred from just not being content, right? Anyway, let's continue. He could be at peace with an empty stomach as much as with a full one. Paul revealed the reason. It was Christ who strengthened him. Verse 13 is less about overcoming whatever adverse situation we find ourselves facing and more about delighting in Christ, no matter where we find ourselves. As Philippians 4:13 responds, a Philippians 4:13 response to losing that football game then would be less about knowing you can win because you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you, and more about being content with either outcome because you know where your priorities are. That was kind of a short commentary. Short and well into the point, right? But I feel like there's more to be learned in here. I think there's more, way more. I mean, imagine just being content in every situation. It's just almost, it's not as easy as these words are making it out to be honest. It goes way deeper into like so much of an emotional level on an emotional level. I mean, there's a psychological level. There's even probably an economic level of just your needs and your wants. How do we define what people's wants are and their needs? It's just ridiculous, honestly. And then we tie money into all this that, you can only imagine what all this is going to do. And it's just so strange to think that that Paul is saying he learned. And it's weird how Paul relates it to the secret. Isn't there? The secret, right? It's like, this is hidden. This is like hidden knowledge, right? That he learned, that he figured out, right? And it's like, honestly, when I look at reality, it's like, man, it's like so, it almost seems impossible for me to even imagine everybody just being content in every situation. Imagine that, man. That would just be wild, man. Okay, let's read another commentary about this. Did we read the Christianity.com one? I think we did. I'm pretty sure we did read this one. I thought it would be purple because it underlined it, but let's see here. Let me get a little overview. Oh, I think we did read this one. Okay, let's see here. What is this one going to say? Institute of Faith. Let's see here. What is this one going to say? Okay, what about this one? Open. Okay, let's read this one. I've never seen this site before, but we might read it. Let's see. Is this thing still on? I guess it's still working. Let's see here. This one's called openthebible.org. I've never seen this site before. This one just says topics, contentment. Desire is an interesting thing. Some desires are good. I desire to be more disciplined in prayer. I desire to be quicker to listen and slower to speak. Yet other desires are laced with sin. I desire the praise of man. I also desire the security of a bigger paycheck. Whether good or bad, unmet desires almost always lead to the same thing: discontentment. Now that's interesting, right? Discontentment. I guess that is interesting, thinking about desires, right? And it's interesting thinking about desires and then also work, right? Imagine, that's the other thing. Imagine working for something for so long and nothing ends up panning out. all these things. What happens if actually negative things start happening to you? I think most people would get a little frustrated, right? But would you lose your cool, right? Would you lose your cool in that situation, right? Could you still remain like stalwart in the face of duress? I don't know, right? I guess that's let's just continue onward. And discontentment is a slippery slope. Once it makes itself at home, it opens the door to anger, jealousy, resentment, even hatred. That's so interesting, man. It's so interesting that this commentary went into that, because we literally started the commentary, not the Bible study off by, thinking about that kind of stuff, right? Yeah, it's so weird. And it's so weird that the other commentator didn't bring that up, right? Huh. Now let's continue. Sorry, I keep interjecting on all these, but I just find it interesting, curious. Maybe that's why Jude has such a strong word for the discontent in verses 14 through 16. He lists grumblers and malcontents as inexcusable, ungodly, and deserving of the Lord's judgment. We all face desires that go unmet. It's unavoidable. But how we avoid the discontentment that so easily follows? How do we stay out of Jude 1, 14 through 16? We must turn away from the temptation and turn toward the truth. Turn away from fear and toward trust. When good desires or desires that seem good and pure to us go unmet, fear bubbles up. We want to know why the Lord hasn't answered a prayer the way we wished. Why he allowed something beloved to be taken away, or why he seems to withhold a need. And we fear it because he can't, or worse, because he doesn't want to. The sin here is doubt. We question the very character of God. We doubt his ability and or desire to keep his promises. We paint him as either an incompetent God, standing around with his hands tied, or a capricious God who toys with us as we stammer to find the magic word. How could we be content with a God like that? Thankfully, our God is all-powerful and all-loving. We can trust that he truly is able to do far more abundantly than we ask or think. Ephesians 3:20. We can know that if we seek the Lord, we will lack no good thing. Psalms 34:10. Psalms 34:10. That's one that I have not brought up on the stream ever. I've literally passed by this page so many times. Let's see. 34:10. Huh. I do have it underlined. It's just weird that it's weird because I have it underlined, but I have it all with green. Like green, 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 green. Here it is, right here. Let's read it. I'm going to underline it with blue now. Blue, 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 blue. Okay, let's see. It says, the young lions suffer want and hunger, but those who seek the Lord lack no good thing. Interesting, huh? Man, imagine that. I don't want to say that this would be in attributes of hell or torment, but in my own life, I guess, just the observations in my own emotional states. Imagine living your entire existence never fulfilled, always hungering, always wanting, but never receiving, right? Imagine just always I guess that's how most things in society are, to be honest, but imagine if it's just always that thing. And that's kind of how life kind of is, right? But sometimes I wonder imagine if hell was just like that times thousands, right? To where it was just like, man, that would be brutal. Just to think about that. Now, I don't know if that is like that, but I don't know. Anyway, let's continue onward. These truths are trustworthy even when we lack seems greater than what we have, when what we've lost overcasts what remains. Fear chokes out trust. If we fear the Lord in the sense of an anxious doubting, we cannot trust him. If we cannot trust him, he can't be content with the circumstances he sees fit to give us. Instead, let us pray for the trust that Job possessed when he said, "Shall we accept good from God and not trouble?" Job 2:10. You know what's actually very strange when I think about it? It's kind of weird because I was like, oh, I want this. You know, it's weird because I was like, man, I want this one because it has the better camera, right? But now that I think about it, this one actually had an audio problem too, right? Remember when I would like start the stream on like, because if I like say something too loud, it starts crackling up. Might have been just because this thing's gotten overheated so many times, but it's kind of weird because now that I think about it, this one actually has better audio, so it's kind of like, yeah, you know, so that's kind of like you take one good thing and you kind of replace it with, I don't know, it's weird. Anyway, let's see here. Turn away from pride and toward humility. Let me take a chug of this coffee real quick. Cheers, everybody. Okay, I think this thing's still not working. Okay, turn away from pride and toward humility. As people, we have this misguided tendency to equate things that happen or don't happen. Things we get or don't get to a sense or deserving. Pride functions as the measuring stick for our circumstances. It makes sense, then, that Jude further describes the discontents as loudmouth boasters. Jude 1:16. I guess that's the other thing, pride. That's a strange thing about pride, huh? I think pride isn't... Pride... Now, maybe we're going to have to go into something like that as well, because there is that thing that a lot of people say, right? That this is actually how Lucifer fell, was because of pride, right? Okay, back to the commentary. If we boast in our abilities and perceived strengths, it means we think too highly of ourselves. We don't have a proper understanding of our status as weak sinners, wholly dependent on the Lord. That leaves us incapable of accepting anything from the Lord with the humility required for contentment. Instead, we will be embittered by the false notion that we deserve either more good or less bad than we receive. Humility, right? I think that's the very strange thing now I think about it. There's another thing that now just reading these two paragraphs, it reminds me of that one verse. What is it? I have such a hard time in some parts of the New Testament where I, like, you know, Ephesians, Philippians, Corinthians, all these things. I have some hard times remembering the exact places of the verses. But you know that one verse where it says, when I am weak, then I am strong. When I am weak, then I am strong. What verse is that? Okay, so it's, for the sake of Christ, then I am content with weaknesses. Look, there's that word again, content. I am content with weaknesses, insults, hardships, persecutions, and calamities. For when I am weak, then I am strong. What's the first one in there? But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore I will boast all the gladly of my weaknesses, so that the power of Christ may rest upon me. You know, this sounds completely bizarre, but if there's one thing that I've learned, and I think a lot of streamers, if you were to ask them about streaming in general, is that it is almost like it almost does teach you how to boast in your weaknesses, right? Because in most cases, I think in our society at the moment, if we look at, say, you know, other platforms, right, where you edit things out. Oh, I said something wrong. Oh, I gotta edit it out, you know, or I gotta clip it out. I don't want people seeing that, or I messed up, or I failed, or I didn't land anything. You know, or I just, like, you know, things of that nature, right? I think if you were to ask most streamers, I think a big thing, if you were to maybe get deeper into the minds of them, is that there is this sense about streaming of, like, having to almost just accept the fact that you're gonna fail, you know. And it's like, I feel like the sooner you accept the fact that you're just gonna fail, or you're not gonna be perfect, or you're not gonna just do everything right, or excel, or you're gonna have those bad days and good days. I think that's a very interesting thing, and it's something that I don't know. There's something strange about it. It's weird. This verse right here just really makes me think about that, right? And it's weird thinking about this as well, because even in the church aspect, right? Now, I understand why, I understand that we are to try and bring our best to the Lord, right? We're to try and bring our best to the Lord, right? To try and glorify God, right? But the thing about, like, sometimes when you go to church, right, is sometimes it almost, well, this is my own observation, like my own feelings, I guess, on the matter, so take it with a grain of salt. But sometimes I feel like there's that aura of you don't want to mess up. You don't want to, it's like you don't want to, you don't want to do anything. And in some cases, I feel like that stalls people out, because that goes, oh, well, I'm not even going to try. Or because even if I try and I mess up, I don't want all these people to be like, oh, I did something wrong. Now I'm going to, it's like, and it's kind of strange, because what would you consider to be like a weakness? I guess if we were to think about how Paul wrote this, right? What is a weakness, right? I almost, that's, I guess, I mean, could weakness almost be seen as failures, as maybe not, It's all, and then it's very interesting thinking about like weaknesses, pride, all these interesting aspects, and just, it makes me actually just wonder what God thinks about failure, right? Like, imagine, because there's that whole thing, if you look into like the psychology of like fear of failure, this is why a lot of people don't start things, right? It's because of the fear of failure, or the fear of failing and getting judged by how you are going to try and do that stuff, and it makes people not even want to do it, right? They're like, oh, well, I don't want to have all this bad stuff happening. I'm not even going to try, right? It's like, it's just interesting. Now I've gotten into such a different topic, and it's so weird because I read those two paragraphs, and it's just like, and this is the strange thing about when I'm reading these things, right? I feel like these Bible studies are different, or for me they're weird, because like, it's not like this thing where I feel like if I were to pre-write this entire Bible study I did just right now, like, I just feel like it wouldn't, and imagine if I had to say it again. Oh my goodness, bro. I feel like I would actually get a little bored. I'm not going to lie. Like, I feel like if I wrote every single thing down, imagine if I wrote every single word down right now, and I was like, oh, wait, I messed up. Erase that. Oh, man. Oh, no, I shouldn't say that. I'm going to erase that. Oh, no. Oh, you know what? No, I didn't like that. Oh, and then you just get frustrated or something like that, right? I feel like that's how I would be. And I like the aspect of just trying to just going in there cold and just kind of just being like, okay, well, what are we going to find in here? I'm probably going to mess up, but oh, well, it's like, let's just go for it, right? I think it's better to try and go for it than not, right? I feel like when I sit there sometimes and I just edit things out and edit, I just almost start like overthinking things sometimes, and it gets me to that fear of failure thing, because if I keep editing something over and over and over again, I'm looking for the perfection of things, and then it makes me not even want to try at times. If that makes any sense. It probably doesn't, but anyway, let's just even see if this thing's even working. Am I streaming on? I don't think it's working anymore. Let's see here. Is it even on? I don't think this thing's on. Let's get some more coffee. Here, I'll be right back. Oh, man. I need some more coffee. Coffee. Let's go forward. Okay. Welcome, travelers. Welcome again to the awkward Bible studies that we're doing. Man, they sure are weird, aren't they? But I guess this is what matters most. I mean, that's the thing, man. It's like, there's always like something, and I always come out of these Bible studies like, it's weird because I always say that they're awkward to do, but I'm not going to lie. Every time I get out of them, it is somewhat fulfilling to where it's like, I've taken something that makes me happier. Now, maybe it makes me like more, I guess, try to maybe think things through more than overreacting, which when I was, I guess, younger, that's what I used to kind of do more, to points where I got in trouble with the law and stuff because of it, But, okay, we're back to it. Okay, let's see here. Where are we at? Okay, here we are. If we boast in our abilities and perceived strengths, it means we think too highly of ourselves. We don't have a proper understanding of our status as weak sinners, wholly dependent on the Lord. That leaves us incapable of anything from the Lord with humility required for contentment. Instead, we will be embittered by the false notion that we deserve either more good or less bad than we receive. Humility, on the other hand, enables us to receive from the Lord with thanksgiving and bless his name whether he gives or takes away. Job 1:21. If we are humble, we can rest content on the knowledge that he is the Lord who will exalt us according to his will and timing. James 4:10. That's actually the interesting thing. We're going to have to go into a Bible study on God's timing, right? God's timing. Turn away from impatience and toward perseverance. We see again and again in Scripture how good it is to wait on the Lord. Lamentations 3:26. But waiting well, patience is a skill few possess. It's difficult for us to see value in waiting for something desired. Needed, longed for, we lose heart quickly and lose our contentment. You know what that makes me think of? It makes me think of like instant gratification, right? It makes me think of instant gratification, and it makes me wonder about attention spans, right? It is kind of weird because I actually did talk to, I don't know if this relates to anything, but it kind of does, I guess. I did talk to this flatlander, and he actually literally told me one of the reasons he thinks that a lot of people don't want to get into flatland is because of the attention spans and stuff like that nowadays. It's kind of funny that it just reminded me of when that person said that to me. I was like, that's interesting. Anyway. But if we learn to persevere through long seasons of waiting, not only will our contentment be preserved, but our faith will be strengthened. There is no better proof of this than Hebrews 11. Noah, Abraham, Joseph, Moses, they are all counted as heroes of faith because of their perseverance. Through years and lifetimes of waiting, they all died in faith, without having received the long-awaited promises of God. Hebrews 11:13. Contentment seems impossible to the impatient because it is misunderstood as something passive, as doing nothing in reality. Persevering through waiting with contentment requires great strength and courage. Psalms 27:14. To wait well, we have to actively seek the Lord, from whom we draw our strength. Lamentations 3:25. Learn the secrets to contentment. In his life, Paul experienced the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. He had desires fulfilled in surpassing glory, and desires withheld through painful trials. But it was Paul who said, "In any and all circumstances, I have learned the secret to being content." Philippians 4:11-12. What was his secret? Christ. The verse that follows is a popular one. I can do all things through him, Christ, who strengthens me. It's most often employed when there is some hope of great victory or accomplishment. While that's well and good, Paul's speaking of this supernatural strengthening from Jesus specifically as it relates to being content, so we could almost subface for do in that verse. I can face all things through Christ. The gospel of Jesus Christ, his saving work through faith in his death and resurrection, does not guarantee us a certain set of circumstances. What it does guarantee is that we can face any circumstance with the power of Christ at work in us. If that is where our faith is tethered, we're freed from the obstacles of sin that would steal away our contentment, and we've strengthened to wait for the mercy of our Lord that leads to eternal life. Interesting. And that was from Caitlin Williams. Why does that one say Caitlin Palacina? It's either, I don't know who wrote this one. It's either Caitlin Williams or Caitlin Palacina. I guess this is from, I think this one's from the UK. This is from the UK? I don't know. It says it's from the UK at the bottom. I guess that was a commentary from the UK, man. Anyway. Oh, wait. Somebody said something. Hey, Jamie. Hope you are doing good. Been good. Nice words. If you try something and fail immediately and give up... Sorry, this screen is all cracked. I'm using a different phone, and unfortunately I have a hard time reading the comments now. That's no good either. Okay, I see. Man, yeah, it's like, man, I am still bummed about that phone, but I'm going to just be content. I'm going to try to be content, even though it's seems very strange. It's weird that we just read a commentary and I'm still thinking about it, right? I don't know why it's bugging me so much, but it does. I think it's just because the other camera is just so much better, right? Oh, man. Oh, well. I guess what matters is the word, mostly, and then I guess that it can even work. I mean, that's the other act. At least I have to be thankful that there is a camera that even works even a little bit, even if it's not the best quality or something. At least it's working, right? So, yeah. Anyway, let's get into a card draw. So do a card draw. Shuffle these up. Man, it's actually really strange. It's so strange that I've just been live streaming this process of not only the Bible studies, but, the BMX riding and stuff. It's so weird. I'm at the point where I really kind of don't really care who really watches it. I used to be really about views and stuff, right? Now I'm at the point where it's just like, I just feel like so much of Flatland now, just like people they're not too interested in it. But, I don't know. It doesn't really matter to me anymore. It's just such a... To me personally, it's very fulfilling just to land something when it seemed really, really hard. It just seems kind of like an obscure thing to do, but it's okay. Let's see here. Let's do this card draw. Put this on our Insta. Welcome, travelers. Welcome to the card draw of the day, where we get to observe some artwork. So let's see here. This is, oh, interesting. Okay, we got New Benalia. What's interesting about this card, wow, that land is awesome. This is why I got this land, but it actually reminds me of the movie Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within. There's that area called New York or something like that, and I'm actually wondering if that artist got inspired by it. But it's a cool card, huh? New Benalia, and it lets us scry one. Interesting. Who did this one? Richard Wright. That dude has done a lot of lands. Anyway, everybody, New Benalia is the card of the day. Try your best and have fun. Okay. Okie dokie. Now let's put it on here. Boop, 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 boop. This is the card of the day, or the first card of the day, actually. Man, this... Okay, here we go. At least I can kind of see it. So what the other thing is, I have this camera. I have the brightness setting all the way low because I don't want the phone to overheat. So... New Benalia. Yeah, it's a holographic. It is a holographic. It reminds me of Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within. Have you seen that movie? Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within. Wait, you play FF? Wait, you play FF? You play Final Fantasy, don't you, Frank? That's weird. Have you seen that movie? You had to have seen that movie, right? Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within. Holy moly, dude! I haven't drawn this card in forever. Negative? I thought you did play Final Fantasy. I thought you played FF14. Maybe it was somebody else that said that. Avison, Angel of Hope. I haven't drawn this card in forever. I forgot I even had it in here. Avison, Angel of Hope. Number 3. Cradle of Vitality. What's funny is a Christian friend actually gave me this for my birthday. There's actually like an infinity life gain thing that I have in here from the comment that he gave. Well, maybe not infinity, but it's a pretty big thing. Pretty big life gain thing. We got Frontier Guide. Or number 5. We have Plains. Ooh, we got Soul Mender. Card's cool. For some reason we've been drawing this guy out a lot lately. Soul Mender. 7? Huh. Angel of Flight's Alabaster. What does alabaster mean? Does anybody know that? I'm actually going to look it up right now. What does alabaster mean? I have no idea what that word means. I'm actually going to look it up. I've seen that word so many times now. I always thought it was just a name. Maybe it is just a name. Alabaster definition. Gilded. Ornament. Translucent gypsum. That's weird. Lacking color. Huh. I didn't know that's what that word meant. I think we have one more card to do. One more card. Wow, we drew a lot of angels today. Look at this angel. Heavenly Blade Master. Man, that thing looks gnarly, dude. We drew 3 angels today. Was that all? Oh, wait. No, we drew a cleric, a scout, 3 angels. That was the hand for today, everybody. Anybody that watches these things. It's kind of funny because I actually think more people watch this stream for the Bible study than even the bike riding and stuff, but honestly, the word is actually probably what matters most, honestly. Well, it does. So, the bike riding is just a good way to help proclaim the gospel. Not only on stream, but also in reality, out into the realms of the lands, wherever you're at. And it also allows you to observe the lands in a different way than most people get to observe things, get to see different levels of humanity. You get to go and observe the nooks and crannies and find those street spots. You know, maybe you should get more into street riding if you're out there, right? Maybe I should get a box in here. Maybe it's time to make a box in here. Okay, so one of the reasons why I don't have a box in here is because I have some neighbors right next door, and I feel like if I had a box, I ain't gonna lie, I'd probably be hitting that thing a lot. And having 25 pounds of metal plus 100 and something, 150 pounds on that, I just feel like that'd make a lot of noise. A lot more noise than I am doing it right now, so. Jub jub. Jub jub. Jub jub. Jub jub. Jub jub. Jub jub. Oh man, these Bible studies are weird, but it's okay, we're going for it. We're attempting, okay? I think we're at least attempting. Okay, let's put our PSI up and let's ride. Let us ride. Let us ride. And by the way, any of you guys that do your Bible studies and stuff, or just even read the Bible, or just read one verse of the Bible on your streams, you guys are awesome. I apologize that I cannot join all your guys' streams at once when they're live. You know, sometimes I have some things going down. I got to do some stuff. But I see you guys out there. And I hope you guys aren't getting discouraged, because I know some of you guys don't get many views. And I see some of you guys continue to do it. And that's cool, because I feel like even if you plant one little seed, that seed could change somebody's life, honestly. It could even save somebody's life. I mean, imagine that. Imagine even you being that person to even sow a little seed of faith into somebody, or even water a little seed that's already been planted, or maybe help till the soil a little bit for the Lord. And that one little seed, or maybe, you know, that seed of faith, you know, you could even, it's so crazy to think that you could even turn somebody from, you know, maybe even some drastic consequences that could maybe unfold because of certain things. It's very weird to think about, actually. Anyway. Riders into the storm. Riders of the What? How does that song start? That's the Doors song, huh? Riders on the storm. There's a killer on the road. His brain is squirming like a toad. Take lay on holiday. Let your children play. If you give this man a ride, your sweet family will die. Killer on the road. His brain is squirming like a toad. Girl, you gotta love your man. Take him by the hand. Make him understand. Actually, I really like the Doors. Are actually really cool. I like the Doors. When I was younger, I was actually really, really into the Doors. And I butchered that entire song, but here we go. Let's see here. Let's see our PSI. Whoop, 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 whoop. this camera is just so janky looking, but I don't care. I gotta not be irked about it. There's like a weird, it's like, it feels like it's just like low resolution or something now. I don't know, it's weird. I don't know. I can just gotta keep trying our best, huh? I wonder why the other camera is just so much better. They did something with the camera. I'm gonna put some music on. Oops, I totally messed that camera angle up. Let's put some music on. And I tried to use it on this thing too. I have this iPad that my friend gave me. For some reason, the iPhone has like this I don't know, like there's like this yellow tinge to the entire, I don't know, it seems like there's like some sort of weird filter or something on it. Let's see, what are we going to listen to, boys and girls? Oh, this isn't, no. Actually, it's getting a little dystopian lately. It's a little dystopian lately. Let's put on this soundtrack. Let's go. Let's just have some fun. Let's go. I wonder if I could do another quad fire hydrant today. You could just do a bunch of no song requests, unfortunately. I have to choose songs that are not on copyright. Because eventually I am going to upload all these things to YouTube. What song were you wanting to play? Ah! I'm gonna land it. That was close. gonna try and learn these. Bro, Luke, you're gnarly, dude. Luke Malone is insane. Oh no! Wait up. I'm on the wrong thing. Wait up, I gotta change my stream settings. Why am I on WoW? I thought I changed it. Here, wait up. Stream manager. Oh, wait up. That ain't what we doing. Fitness and health. Oh, here we go. BMX, cycling. Man, it sucks that I have to change it every single time. Oh, there's indoor cycling. Indoor cycling. Bible. Done. Okay, I think I changed it. Wait a minute, why is it holy? Wait up, I gotta change it again. Oh, I could just change it right on the spot, huh? Sorry, I gotta change all this, otherwise I think Twitch takes your stream down if you're not in the right category. I don't want to get in trouble. So, done. Okay, I think it's fixed. Let's go. Man, I want to do 7 fire hydrants in a row. One day, it's going to happen in here. We're going to do 7 fire hydrants. It's either going to take 5 years or so, but it's going to eventually happen, I think, maybe. How do people get so good at that trick, dude? I need to get like some different forks. I landed a quad yesterday. It's so finicky, dude. You mess up one little thing, it doesn't want to work. It'd be cool if like more people made how-tos on how to do it. I wonder if there's like something that I'm not doing right. Well, yeah, we could do... I'm just going to mess around since we have some people watching. Let's try a turbine steamroller. Oh, let's get it. I see this trick right here. This trick, a lot of people do it in their combos. I can't even do... This is literally the starting trick. And I have trouble on the starting trick. Like, this isn't even the hard trick of this. Well, I think it's hard, but... This is like the starting trick to how people do, like, 20-point combos. It's crazy. And then go like this. And do, like, a bar spin thing. Let's see if we can do a bar spin combo. I'm all buggy today. Cut my, look at that. My jacket got hung up. Messed me up. I feel really sketchy today. That's not hard. They like hold it too. I need like more momentum. I need to go faster, I think. Like they really hold it. I don't know how they do it. Maybe I gotta go faster. I gotta like cut it. I think that's what I gotta do. So if I wanna go faster, I gotta cut the circle. I cut at it with a little bit more of an angle. But there's this one dude, he just holds it, man. It's crazy, dude. So what I want to do is I want to do that, front brake, squeaker. Hard though. I'm gonna jam my thumb. Man, Barston's suck. Oh, my brakes. Try and do the funky chicken to like back into decade. Oh, I almost did it. Oh my goodness, bro. That was the closest one I've ever done. Dude, I haven't landed that combo yet. I've literally been after that combo for like a month now. I've yet to land it. That was close, dude. That was the closest one I've ever done. You gotta get that fire hydrant right. You gotta get that angle right. See, it's like that half fire hydrant is actually hard because I'm so used to doing a normal fire hydrant, and with a normal whole whip fire hydrant, you can get your momentum going and then you can fling over, right? But this one, you have to get half of a whip and get the momentum to go all the way around. It's actually harder, actually, I think. I think the half whip fire hydrant is half whip fire hydrant a decade is harder to do than just a normal fire hydrant a decade. For me, anyway. Yeah, it's brutal, dude. It's like I feel like that was my close attempt today, and I'm just not gonna get another close one. So let's just move on. See, we do a switch foot gyrator, double foot gyrator. I could have done a kickflip out of that. Kickflip nation! close. This is so hard to land. When is it gonna get easy? That's the thing. I've been landing a lot more lately, but it's still just really hard to land still. I thought of a line yesterday. I can't remember what it was. I wonder if I could do like a G-turn line in here. What can you do from that? Sure, a G-turn line. Ba da ba ga ba. Did not work. Should be working. Yeah, 35 minutes ago, it should. do some backyard practice. Do our daily backyard no-hander practice. Daily backyard no-hander progress. Ba ba beep, boo ba ba, boo ba beep, 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 beep. Okie dokie. Let's see. Yesterday this trick didn't work out, so hopefully today it's a little bit better. I'm actually wondering if my shoes might be affecting this trick a bit. They're kind of worn down. That was a good first attempt. Here's like, oh, this is so hard. That's all I'm wondering. Oh, that one felt good. Brutality. People got good at this trick. I feel like I've been working on this one for so long. I feel like I've been on the biggest plateau with this trick. Oh man. But I know it's doable because I see people doing it, so it's not like it's impossible, right? That was a pretty good one. I feel like, I don't know how they go in a turbine with it. Like they go in a circle with it. It's so weird. I feel like I could just go in a straight line. I don't know how they're like going into a circle. It's so weird. One day we'll master it, hopefully, right? I wonder what would happen what if I just did this, just nothing, I just practiced this. What would happen? Like what would happen in a month span if I just did no other tricks except for this trick? Like do you think I would improve? Or do you think I'd still be stuck? Or I'd probably just get burnt out. I probably couldn't even do it that long, right? I feel like I can only give it like a good 10 goes and then it just starts diminishing. There's diminishing returns. See what you're doing under. sketchy. We'll take it. No. Anyways, that was one of the weirdest ones I've landed. I literally like held it for a little bit. That was bizarre. It was just so sketchy, like I just want to see what it looked like. That was just so weird. Such a weird one. That felt like a rock climbing trick, bro. I literally just held on with that hand. Oh my god, that was ridiculous. I can't believe I even landed that one. That was sketchy, dude. Oh well. Oh my goodness. It was sketchy, but it was fun. I guess that's what matters, right? Man, it just feels so fun just to land a trick. I don't know, man. It's just rewarding. Just landing a trick. Well, at least I landed something today. It's not uploading. It's like it should be uploading it, but it's not. I need some water. Where's my water bottle at? Water. We need the source. We need to refuel. Brah, brah. Let's hit the waves, dude. You didn't plank on, huh? Let's see here. I need to learn. Oh, I didn't want to learn how to do. I'm actually just going to delete this. I'm not going to keep this clip. That clip is sketchy. I guess we could practice. Dude, why does this camera look so grainy? Oh, I'm not even going to complain about it. It's okay. It's okay, right? Next we'll practice funky chicken tail ups. Do that. How do they do a funky chicken tail up? Like, I wonder, do they just learn it like this? think I just got to do that thousands of times. I don't know when to throw it. That's a strange trick right there. That's a bizarre one. I think I gotta tow my brake pads in. I wonder how I towed these ones in. How did I tow? You gotta tow them from back forward. Tow them like that. Actually, I think I do like this. starting off like this makes the fire hydrant easier. Oh, that even seems harder. Need to make these springs tighter. Undo the fire whiplash to squeaker. Hard. That's it right there. Why is that so hard? What am I doing wrong? They make it look so easy. Let's do it right there. need to like get good at doing the whiplash, and instead of putting my foot on the peg, I need to put it on this peg. Oh, I missed it right there. Oh, dude. You could do whiplash into squeaker into fire hydrant. Bro. Holy moly, that'd be gnarly. Multiple whiplash into squeaker, fire hydrant going the other way. That'd be cool to see. That's what I have a problem. I have a problem putting this leg over the top too. My leg keeps like getting stuck, huh? It's challenging. I guess that's why they have those top tubes that like go down a little bit, right? Huh. It's a weird trick. I feel like I'm getting better at it though, but it's like all these tricks are very finicky. They're so finicky, dude. Like, you mess up one little angle and it just doesn't want to work. It's actually ridiculous, actually. Like some of these tricks, like the room for error is so minute that like it's honestly bonkers. Are you lagging, Dad?
I've done this so long.
I know, but you can help them out too. I gotta fix this thing. Trying to do now, man, maybe I should just start doing like long riding streams and just start working on like tricks that like aren't loud. what tricks are not loud? Oh, you know what? I'm gonna actually practice. Man, I haven't really I feel like I haven't improved at all today. I'm on just like a gnarly plateau again. Well, we'll get through it. We just gotta keep grinding through it. There is this switch off I wanna learn. So it's regular gyrator. Regular gyrator into you switch the bike up like this and then get into a stick beat. I just don't know. I feel like this one you kind of need a free coaster because I'd have to wait until my crank gets in that right position. Right here. That's hard, dude. That's a really, really hard switch off right there. I feel like that's a pretty quiet trick though. I feel like I could just practice that like for a long time, right? Without making that much noise. Like by throwing my bike down, right? I think the loud tricks are like stick beat when I try and land it and I just drop the bike down. And yeah. Bro, how did they do that? How do you guys do that? That's crazy. There's also that one, and then there's also this half bike flip. Check this one out. So you go like this. That's hard. You guys should make some how-tos. You guys know how to do these ones. I'd love to see that. They're flipping hard. They're flipping hard. Oh. I don't even know how to do that one. That's a good one to practice though. You can be quiet. You can learn this in 8x8 square, honestly. That's what's crazy. I think maybe how I have the bike positioned is affecting it. Oh, come on, man. I don't see how they're doing that one. That's so gnarly. So you literally have to start from the stick, this gyrator, like this, and then you have to do a half bar, and then jump there, and then lift it up. Oh, you know what? I could practice double foot. Okay, now this is just the boring part of the stream. I don't even care. People even think it's boring. We're gonna just try and learn these tricks. This is double foot. Almost kind of goes in that Bible verse, huh? Glorifying in our weaknesses. So we're gonna go into trying to learn the double foot steamroller. Oh, I almost did it. That was the best one I've ever done. Oh, that was literally the best one I've ever done. Dude, it's so finicky. I'm gonna learn this one. So I can help him out learning it. Oh, come on. It seems so easy, but it's hard for me right now. If I could do it first try, I would. I'm so bad at that. I can't even imagine doing this already. That's where we're going to, man. I can't even do the first part. That is ridiculous. How long did it take for you guys to learn this one? You really gotta stay centered on that bike. See, this is a good quiet trick right here to learn. No bike throwing. You think it'd be easy, man? Especially this first part. I thought this first part I was gonna learn like in a second. It's like there's a balance point to it. Oh! I don't know how to do it. That's, I guess, just another practice thing. We keep practicing. What other ones? I guess funky chickens. Maybe turbine steamroller. You can do turbine steamroller and do fakey double-footed steamroller. I forgot, I could actually make an improv free coaster by taking that bolt out. do that into the... Bro, you could do a funky chicken into a steamroller, into a hitchhiker. Dude, there's so many combos. It's crazy. It's just combo after combo after combo, man. You just learn it all. Oh, that was so close. I need to just glorify in the weaknesses. Yes. There was a time where I just wanted to land cool stuff, right? We might as well just grind on everything we're bad at. Kinda. So close. That's a hard decade, man. I haven't had a hard decade trick in a while. This is a hard decade one for me. Buddy. Let's just revel in our infirmities. Man, that verse has totally changed my outlook of streaming. Oh my goodness. I want to learn funky chicken tail-ups. But I want to do this decade line first. Oh, come on. Oh, fudge. I kind of start doing like long bike streams again. Because honestly, why I wasn't doing the long bike streams as much is because like I just wanted to land cool stuff, right? But I feel like that verse, man, has changed my outlook. Just glorifying in our infirmities, right? Glorifying in our weaknesses, right? Oh my God, that was loud. Brutal, dude. That trick's gnarly. Darn, that looks so much better. It's okay, it doesn't matter. Fudge, dude, what's wrong with these cameras? Oh well. Man, that old camera was so much better, but at least it still works, right? Just restart this one. starting to lose steam. See if we can land it better under. Doesn't always kind of wear me out. Let's get it right there. Brakes keep squeaking like that. Oh, I had one today. It was really sketchy. Try some multiple fire items, I guess. Brutal. Get chicken toe. Practice. Did you see that? I almost did. That's almost what it's supposed to look like. We're getting it, dude. I'm so happy I even just did that. Just gotta keep practicing this. This is actually a pretty quiet trick to learn, I think, so far. How did I do that? get it right there. I almost did 2 today. Dude, that's such a gnarly trick. That's a gnarly one. It looks so gnarly, like it looks just so weird. That's why I like it. Just looks so peculiar. Time to do some increase my bit rate, huh? OBS looks blurry. Okay, I guess we'll do last stream. Some PvP or something. Okay, well, we practiced a bunch of stuff today, and we got the stream to work, even though the camera doesn't look as gnarly as it did. I'm still a little bummed on it, but it's okay. At least the stream's still working, so. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For you are with me, your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. That's Psalms 23 of David. Farewell, everybody. Farewell.
Gonna work?